Sarraj from the Free Gaza Movement. He is joining us from Gaza. Mr. Sarraj, surely the Israelis have a point, though. They don't know what's on these ships coming into Gaza. Perhaps there could be militants, perhaps there could be armaments. Israel has a duty to protect its own citizens, doesn't it?
Yes, of course. But the problem is that they kill these people in order to protect themselves and their citizens. They made the siege on Gaza because they want to protect themselves and their security. They made the occupation of Gaza for the last 42 years because they want to protect Israel and its citizens. They actually uprooted us in 1948 and made us refugees in our refugee camps now because they wanted to protect themselves and protect their security. So when is the end of this security issue? When Israel is really looking for peace, to be a good neighbor, to show us a human face instead of this ugly face of brutal killing and destruction, as they have been doing in defiance of all international standards and ethics.
But don't you as a movement have a responsibility here? You've already said that a couple more ships are now going to come in to try and test the Israeli defense to make a political point. By doing that, aren't you just looking forward to more confrontation?
Well, I am looking for a confrontation with an Israeli peacemaker that can tell us that doing a siege on Gaza for the last 3 years, this draconian siege on the 1.5 million Palestinians, is only strengthening the extremists in Palestine. And the extremists in Israel are feeding the extremists in Palestine. So we need a peacemaker in Israel rather than a warmonger like Mr. Barak, who I think now is the time to end his career.
So do you now hope that Israel will respond to some of this international pressure and perhaps at least ease the blockade on Gaza?
Well, I hope that they will ease the pressure on Gaza, and because I'm now on the British television, I will ask Mr. Clegg, the Deputy Minister, to be honest to his article last year about ending the need to end the siege. And I ask all the politicians in Britain and elsewhere in Europe to be honest to their pledges when they always call for the end of the siege, but they don't take any actions. And I really hope that Mr. Obama of the United States of America can take some decisive action to end this tragedy and if even to protect the Jewish life, not just the Palestinian life, and everybody's life.
One last question, very briefly. Do you intend to now try and send more ships into Gaza?
Sorry?
Do you intend to send more ships into Gaza?
Absolutely. I promise you, next time there will be 100 ships.
OK, Mr. Sarraj, thanks very much for your thoughts there from Gaza. That's the defiant position in Gaza, an equally defiant position here.